Hey everybody, welcome once again to our Low on Health year-end review. This time covering 2022 and more importantly, the games I played in 2022. And as I always say, this is why I kind of started doing any type of videos or recording or data entering because I play video games.
Data entering.
I play a lot of video
track.
games and it is very difficult keeping track of anything.
Yeah, you play a lot of video games. I love it.
In which case that's why I keep track of all this. So let's go ahead and jump into the top 9, and I did 9 because it's easier to format a picture of 3x3 than anything else. So there you go, the games I played in 2022. There was basically, I played roughly 245 games, which is always a high number. Once again, these aren't always to completion, but at the very least I give the game a good old try, get a couple of achievements, play it for an hour or so, and then get out. 14 of these games were I bought from the reward points program. So I of course participate in the Microsoft/Xbox reward points where you like searches and surveys and all that stuff, and that actually generates a decent chunk of change, almost like $200 a year, and to a point where I can almost also just spin that back into Game Pass to create like an infinite loop of being able to play games by just participating.
Yeah, you've done that a couple times.
I equivalent it to like panhandling or finding changing your couch cushions. It takes maybe 5 minutes a day to just generate that, and I'm just providing them data.
What couch are you getting? 5 minutes a day. What couch are you getting money from? That's like some SCP Night Vale shit.
But essentially, for those games were from GameFly, because every now and then they'll be like, hey, $1 for a month. I'm like, sure, and I'll play through some games that aren't on Game Pass. Once again, 166 of those games were through Game Pass. 61 were the free play weekend or gold. 20 of them were replays. So one thing I don't like to do is replay through video games unless it has achievements. So that would give me an excuse to play through it.
You replay through video games.
4 of them were like 360 and roughly 33 were on PC. And what I've done, something rarely that I do, will give a remaster or remake or replay my game of the year. But once again, Life is Strange Before the Storm still just spoke to me, moved me, just made me really realize how much I enjoyed the game. Yeah. Great characters. There's only maybe one 50-minute chunk I didn't enjoy playing, but otherwise that I love it. The music is great. I still listen to the music constantly. But the first real new game that I would have played to me would have been Death Stranding, and that's on PC. But
it was so good.
You could also argue that's not necessarily a new game, but it was new to me, and it was available on PC through Game Pass by some magic way. So if you want to say my top game that was new that was released in 2022 would be like Tunic, which was just a great old school throwback to like the Zelda-ish games, and it has a really cool mechanic that uses the instruction manual to give you clues and stuff. It was just a really great game, Tunic was. And then once again, still a replay that I put in my top 10 is The Left 4 Dead, the final season.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead.
Not The Left 4 Dead.
The Walking Dead.
You said Left. Yeah, you said Left 4 Dead.
In which case, I still really much enjoy the Telltale games, especially at that point, and just seeing an actual trade-off on who becomes the main character, seeing Clementine's story evolve. I just really enjoyed that. And of course, it's a replay, but it was still so good, I wanted to put it in my top 9. Ghost Song, classic Metroidvania, just also one of those chill games to it.
Yeah,
I mean, you're still going around and blasting, but it was still just vibes of chill.
Yeah, it was a very chill vibe game.
And then one game I played way too much of, and I enjoy a lot, and I kind of dismiss it like some people do, is Vampire Survivors, which is that reverse bullet hell type of game. But I love it so much. It's on Game Pass, but I've been buying every single DLC for it because the DLC is roughly like $2. It's cheap DLC, and I just enjoy playing it. It's probably the game I put the most hours in.
It's actually surprisingly chill.
Yes. Well, once you know what you're doing too, like if you get and you level up enough, it can become chill.
It's kind of zen.
Yeah. Hitman 3 we all know about. Beacon Pines was a nice animated, but a nice narrative kind of story. And then Infernax, which I would say Infernax is another one that a lot of people kind of slept on. It's on Game Pass, and it's a good classic throwback to like your 8-bit type of things, but with the sensibility of like decent narrative. And it's
which one?
You probably never even saw me play it, but it's a really good game. So those are my top 9, in which case some of them aren't necessarily new. The ones that only released last year was maybe Ghost Song, Beacon Pines, Infernax, and Tunic. But now we're going to go to the master list here, which is my Excel file that I keep track of everything. The highlighted ones we see here are, of course, the games that I were put in my top 9. But then I also have these ranked by like rating, and this is how I keep track of everything and what system I play them on, how I get them, and then my basic review.
It's always funny when you open this up and then just in the review you write Drek.
Yeah, and I've gotten to the point now where because it's so much, I have basic form things. If there's stuff I want to say about it, I'll put it in there. But I'm not writing like full paragraphs or full sentences now. There's no point, especially with this large amount. But I did get around to last year doing some DLC that I wanted to do, like Witcher 3, Far Cry 6. Got to play Persona 5 finally, which was fun.
The villain DLC for Far Cry was very good.
Yes.
Far Cry 6.
High on Life was good. Saints Row was extremely underwhelming.
What was the one? Hi-Fi Rush? Was that this year? Or was that 2022?
No, Hi-Fi Rush is this year.
Hi-Fi Rush was 2022?
Yep.
Okay.
And we see, as you can see here, GP means I play it through Game Pass. Replay shows that I replay them. So there's this War of Mine, Kentucky Route Zero, Soma, a lot of these games that I would replay. Especially if Game Pass has them on PC and Xbox.
Which means they have different
and they have different achievements.
So they have different...
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But if they have two different achievements, I will play it through it twice. BioShock Remastered, I played through those, just like The Walking Dead. Borderlands DLC I played through. Once again, that was my excuse to use up these Microsoft reward points because they do expire at a certain point. We got Deathloop last year.
Despot's game, is that the one where you have like all the little...
The stickman type
the
things?
The stickman
Yeah,
thing?
the pink guys.
That was cute.
You got Hardspace Shipbreaker, Calico, which was good.
Bug Snacks Can Go to Hell. I hate games like that.
Hellsinger was okay. And once again, some of these games I really like nowadays because they do have your accessibility features. So they make it either easier or just
be able to rewind time.
Or just like be able to like subvert the gameplay system so like if you can't get to it, you can still play it. Like you shouldn't have to just give up on a game because it got too hard nowadays. The developers of these games should make it to where you can bypass stuff, skip stuff. Just especially if you bought a game, they should give you those tools. Of course, disable achievements if you want to, or make it so like you're still that hard mode for people to play if they want to. Let's see, we got just a bunch of games here. I'm just trying to think of any ones that jump out. Scorn was very, underwhelming.
You actually enjoyed Train Sim.
Yeah, I like a lot of the sim games, like House Flipper, Train Sim games, Mechanic game. I'm trying to think all the ones that simulators I definitely enjoy to a certain degree.
Yeah, they're just most of them are just kind of like very chill.
And you'll see a couple of sports leagues on here like cricket and MLB, like whenever they have their free play weekends, that's usually when I give those a shot. And as we scroll down here, you got Power Wash Simulator, which had that cool Final Fantasy VII DLC. But here you can see where I basically just say, quick in and out achievement farm. And that's basically what I do for the majority of these games. Like some of these are like, Ni no Kuni, we got our long form JRPGs. I don't have the time for it. I would have back in the day if I had the time.
Well, also because there wasn't that much available back
that too,
in the
there's
day,
not like I don't even think if I had this much available back then I probably still wouldn't. No, you're correct. House Flipper, there we go. But yeah, and this is just kind of gets to the dregs of them. Of course, the Maddens, the racing games. Like you would always argue, like, why would you ever pay for something if it's bad? And once again, I don't have to pay. I use Game Pass. I use the free gold replay
weekend.
The
free gold weekend.
The free play weekend. We're usually Thursday, Friday. They offer like a game. The problem is, as time goes on, I've played a lot of the games, so it's very rare that they offer a free play weekend game, and I haven't played it.
I love the fact that you play all these games. I get to see so much.
See what else
I really do.
Out.
There are people like that.
Amnesia Rebirth, which I might actually go back to because now I'm thinking about something.
Because I like games, but I don't really play that many. Whenever I play games, I will play one game to excess, like hyper focus for like months.
But no, I usually don't play a game for more than like a week. At best.
And as always, whenever you're playing games, usually the things that I notice the most about it is what the audio
the sound design and everything.
Yeah, the sound design is what I usually notice the most about games because I'm usually doing something else, just sitting on the couch, and I'll notice.
But what I will always say is the majority of the stuff, I don't think I technically paid like dollars for a game. It was either Microsoft points or it came through Game Pass. Usually. So, like, if you're interested in any of those games, I can guarantee most of them are basically going to be on Game Pass, and things leave Game Pass. And this is James's, my usual thing saying, "Hey, get Game Pass.
It's worth it if you want to play a lot of games.
Like, just try it once and just download as much as you can. Download everything that you think you might be interested in. There's no way you're going to get through that in a month, but you can at least try stuff, and you have no qualms about paying for something and not beating it.
And if you don't enjoy a game, you can give up on it.
Yeah.
Same with a TV series, a movie, anything. You're just like, I'm not enjoying this. You don't have to finish it. food. You're like, this doesn't taste good. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to.
And that's the main thing that I think helps us get through and do everything we do, is because we know that pull the ripcord, get out of there, move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because there would be times we're watching a show and like you'll just look over and you'll be like, I'm done with this. Are you done? Are you done? And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Like there will be something that'll happen. There also too, I think when you get to a certain age or you've seen a certain amount of content or engaged with a certain amount of content or different types of narratives, you get to a point where you realize there are certain tropes you are sick of seeing. You don't want to see those anymore. And if you encounter something, you're like, oh, I know exactly where this is going and I'm not going to enjoy it. You don't have to engage with that thing anymore. It doesn't mean that thing doesn't deserve to exist, shouldn't be made anymore. It just means you don't have to partake of it if you don't personally enjoy it.
You might not be his target audience. If everybody's loving it and you're not his target audience, just don't feel bad about it. Just be like, fine. Yeah. Don't hate on it. Just be like, that's not my thing.
It wasn't for me.
And
that's okay.
And that is what we do, and it just helps us not dwell on things and just move on to the next thing.
It's just like how people like different flavors. Some people like spicy food. Some people don't like spicy food. Spicy food should exist. Mild food should exist. You don't have to like spicy food.
I will say, in regards to gaming, of course, as you all saw, it's only Xbox or Microsoft based. And yes, technically, I do have access to a Switch, but I just still don't bother. But as
there aren't that many.
No, but the games that are on there are worth playing. Anyway,
Breath of the Wild would probably be one of the only ones that you would play.
But that's pretty much it for 2022. As always, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.